Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Vitti, and I'm a member of UNICEF. And today I have a special guest with me, Itzal Chavez. She's going to talk about her Latinx identity and how her identity impacts her today. So, with further ado, I'll let Itzal introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tel Chavez, and I am a second year undergrad student here at UCLA. I'm double majoring in public affairs and psychology. And as Elizabeth already said, I will be talking about my Latinx identity and how it impacts me today.
Awesome. So, let's get started with our first question. So, how does your Latinx identity shape who you are today?
So I identify as Mexican, and this shapes my cultural identity because coming from a Mexican background and living in America has made it difficult to fully express my Mexican identity, but I do try to express it through different traditions and by eating cultural food here and there. Um, and also I express it through religion because coming from a Mexican background, you're kind of placed into like the Catholic religion. So it's been, kind of like become part of my identity growing up.
Awesome. So, can you tell me a little bit more about your family's immigration story?
Yes. So my father immigrated when he was an adult from Mexico, which an area called Mexicali, which is right next to the border. He had to do so because opportunities in Mexicali were very scarce, and he wanted to make more money to support his family because he was also the oldest child.
So, why did your family choose to come to the United States?
So my family chose to come here because, as said previously, there are a lot more opportunities and also there's a better chance of having a stable living here in the U.S.
Okay, that's awesome. So, how has this story impacted who you are? Can you talk about the negatives and the positives?
Yes, so because my dad is an immigrant, he didn't really have much when he got here. He had to start fresh. He taught himself how to be a mechanic, which he later went on to teach his siblings. So with this skill, he was really only able to make a little bit of money, but not really enough to comfortably support my mom and my four siblings, and myself. And because of this, we struggled a lot financially, which affected the way we lived. In my household, there was always arguments surrounding bills and food, and these arguments impacted my parents' relationship, which greatly impacted my siblings and I and kind of inflicted trauma. So, because my father was always working, he never really had a relationship with my siblings and I. And due to the lack of attention and love, this really affected my older siblings. Um, so they decided to act in a spiteful manner in order to get my father's attention. My brother, I would say, was the most affected because all he wanted was a father figure, but because my dad was always too busy, my brother got into bad habits and he started hanging with the wrong crowd and started getting into drugs. His actions put our entire family in danger, and it got so bad that he is now in prison waiting for his 9-year sentence to end. Anyway, those were mainly like the negatives about the story. I would say the positives is that like being here now, I do have like better opportunities. As I said, like I personally am now in UCLA, which I am super grateful for. And I kind of get to make my own story now, which I appreciate as well. Um, but yeah, I would just those are pretty much like all the positives and negatives that come to mind right now.
That's so awesome. That's very powerful too. So, thank you for sharing that with us. So, how does this impact your role in the Latinx community?
So this impacts my role in my community because I understand how the cycle goes for children of immigrant parents, and because I belong to a community that is constantly being targeted by criminal policies. I have decided to pursue an education in criminal law um, in order to be able to defend people from marginalized communities like my own and from the injustices of the criminal justice system. So, yeah, I want to pursue this career because I feel like um, This way I will be able to fully like support my community and help protect them against the injustices.
That's so inspirational. So, like in recent media, especially in the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump characterized Mexicans very negatively, and we see the effects of it today. So, I wanted to ask you, are there any other misconceptions that are expressed about your Latinx identity, and how do you feel about them?
Yes, it is greatly publicized that Mexicans are bad or that we're gangsters or narcos, but this is not true. Mexicans have shown time after time to be extremely hard workers, and I very much dislike that we're characterized negatively because not all of us are the same.
That's I I agree. Is there any final message you want to send?
Yes, I think it's important for everyone to understand that we're all different and have different stories. Although I did not directly immigrate to the US, my father's immigration here has significantly influenced my life and allowed me to become the person I am today.
That's really important, Sal. Sometimes we just have to listen to people's stories because everyone is so different. Thank you so much for your time, Itzel, and for telling me your story. To the audience, thank you so much for listening.